complete reset, a complete shift that comes down to a choice, not just any old choice, a firm decision, a stance that you take, a position you assume to reset your foundation, to reestablish yourself with conviction, with intent, with clarity, with a newfound clarity, and a genuine desire to make a change. When we do things halfway, in halves, and we do not take ourselves seriously, or we take our vision and our heart's desires lightly, then you will only receive a little bit of that change you set out to make for yourself. But when you take a deep look within yourself and you choose from your heart, from your soul, the outcome is completely different. You still have to persist and maintain, build your strength, your willpower. But the way you start is going to set the tone for the experience, for the way that you move forward. So I'm making this video to inspire a complete and total reset. I've gone through many of these, and honestly, one of the main things that inspires this for me has been picking up and moving to a whole new place and leaving behind what I've known. When you're in a new place, when you go to a new place and you start over, something becomes alive in you. Or even when you witness somebody go through a transformation and you witness what is possible through another being, something comes alive in you. It's a spark that's lit within you, or you become aware again of the spark that is always within you and alive and well within you. There's so many different ways that you can go about creating a new foundation for yourself and resetting yourself, creating a foundation, building some momentum so that you may succeed in whatever it is that you set out to do. And I'm going to share with you some of my favorite ways to reestablish myself. Full body reset. Now again, for those of you who are new to my channel, full body reset does not just mean a physical reset. That's included, but I'm talking full body reset. The full reset of your emotional body, your mental body, your physical body, your spiritual body. Reestablishing yourself in every respect. And training yourself throughout the process to understand all of these parts are truly just one part. I'm really adamant about this concept because we are not just physical beings, and it's kind of difficult to not exist so much in the mind and even in the body. And most of the time, people are shaming their bodies, speaking downward towards their bodies. Your body is so intelligent. Your body requires you to treat it with respect, to treat it with love. And there is many idealizations, concepts of what love is. But what I know is what love is not. And love is not ignoring your body, disregarding your body, forcing your body to do something that it doesn't want to do for the sake of what your mind is telling you it wants. And these are all connected. There's a connection between all of these aspects of yourself, the body, the mind, the emotions. All these things are all working with one another. So I like to start with what I am allowing into my body and the process of what is coming out of my body. If there is some sort of discrepancy in what is coming into my body, then what comes out of it is also going to have some sort of discrepancy, some sort of imbalance. At a very basic level, excessive intake, whether it be information, food, drinks, interactions, excessive stimulus, without a rest, without a break, it's going to cloud your discernment, your ability to judge properly. As to when to stop, when to pause, when to listen, when to take a break, when to go, when to take action, create motion. So fasting from the information, fasting from the speech, fasting from certain thought processes, fasting from certain emotions that are very much present but don't need to take such a strong hold on you. Fasting from food, from certain types of food, from drinks, from certain types of drinks. You will only realize the power of fasting until you actually take initiative and fast. And being mindful when you enter into a fast is recommended because you can hurt yourself if you are not considerate of your current position. You can easily fall off of a fast when you enter it without an intention, or again, without the consideration of your current position, without the proper information, knowledge, awareness. So for simplicity's sake, let's speak about fasting from food, drinks, things of this nature. Let's say you've never fasted a day in your life. You've always ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner, snacks all day long. For you to then go forth and not eat a single thing for a whole day and feel so accomplished, but then at the end of the day, you engorge yourself with a massive meal. This sort of defeats the purpose of fasting, and it can push your body to a point that is very unhealthy. Again, it's counterintuitive. Sugar is such a issue. I would say that sugar is a huge issue for people in this country and in the United States of America. I don't know if you're from where you're from, but where you're watching from, but sugar is so detrimental to the brain functioning and to the body overall when you're taking it in excess. It creates aging in the skin. It prevents you from being able to make proper decisions, especially when the sugar is coming from like refined and processed things. These sugars will sneak into things that are labeled as really healthy, and you won't even realize that you're eating like 10 times the amount of sugar that your body actually requires. And you don't realize how much work you're forcing your organs to do just to process this sugar that is not natural. So I think working with like your sugar intake and your awareness of your sugar intake is such a powerful place to start. What are some ways that instead of just removing food altogether, you can remove the processed sugar from your diet, from what you're consuming? What are some ways that you can become increasingly more mindful of this and incrementally remove that sugar intake as your days go on? So I think that is essential within my practice, is to be building brick by brick. You can, go cold turkey, is what people call cold turkey. I don't really understand that. But you can go cold turkey and just completely remove something. But I really feel like it can prevent you from having a lasting result. The mindset that you have is going to be everything. Because if you enter into the intention of like removing sugar from your consumption, and you're thinking, oh my God, this is going to be so hard. I don't know how I'm going to do this. We'll see how long this lasts. All this narrative that you create in your mind, that it's difficult, everything has sugar in it, there's no possible way. You're going to blind yourself to the reality of the situation. For me personally, right? My reality, which is that it's so easy to remove sugar from your consumption. You are able to eat really healthy sugars on a regular basis. The body adjusts over time and it actually feels really great. Sugar actually becomes increasingly more unattractive to you the more you incrementally remove it from your diet. The reality that it's just really easy to do, truly. So the things that you tell yourself, the narrative that you create, is setting the tone for your reset. And we want to be able to come into this reset with that mindset, with a strong, positive mindset that aligns with your current position and with the position that you prefer to be in. A nice harmony and balance between where you're at and where you would like to be. Not harsh tones of impossibility and unlikelihood. So maybe for your first week, you can remove any really highly sugary drinks that are created with refined sugar. And instead, you can start to find beverages that are using more healthy sugars. So what's a healthy sugar? It could be maple syrup, it can be date sugar, maple sugar, it could be coconut sugar, monk fruit sweetener. I don't recommend stevia as like a sweetener, but ultimately this isn't even a conversation about sugar. This is a conversation about different ways that you can start to set out on a full reset, which requires that you start to question the areas in life that you wish to progress in, with the understanding and with the awareness and acceptance that all areas of your life are connected. What is taking priority right now? And are you willing to take this intention, this desire, seriously? To build from a place that is actually going to be conducive to your success. Now, let's say, for example, the fasting that you would like to do is that of the environments that you find yourself or the people you interact with. You are needing time for yourself. You are needing time to reflect on your life. You are needing time to stay away from the environments that you usually find yourself in, so that you can really start to lock in on your true heart's desire, so that you can start to omit the distractions, albeit they're pleasant and, maybe you love to go out and do certain things. But you're ready and willing to make the sacrifice by way of fasting from these environments, these people, and these places, so that you can start to direct that energy inward and connect with yourself more deeply, so as to be of service to yourself and to fulfilling that intention. It doesn't mean that you have to completely disregard your social life. It doesn't mean that you have to enter into this with hastiness and frustration, but with a simple awareness. You know what? I think I have been giving way too much in this area of my life. And it will benefit me more, and it will amplify the experiences that I choose to engage with by creating more space. So now when I do choose to go and engage with people, it's more meaningful. It's not as repetitive, as redundant, and as unproductive. too much of anything, excessiveness in any area of your life, is going to dilute the quality of the experience. And when you enter this fasting state in a state of anger, frustration, understand that that's what you're feeling towards yourself. And often we believe that it's towards the world and everything else around you. But it's simply towards the aspect of yourself that allows for such behavior. Another reset that you can also incorporate into your experience is cleansing a space. Ridding yourself of things that you don't need and that are representative of a version of yourself that didn't take yourself seriously, that didn't really care at the level that you're carrying now. Representative of a time that you know you have to let go of, that you know no longer serves you and is not coming with you as you move forward. The power of cleansing your space, your internal space, your external space. Maybe moving your furniture around, creating some more feng shui. Maybe adding some new inspirational pieces of art. Maybe opening some windows and letting air flow into your space. Cleaning, deep cleaning. Not just a rag swiping on your shelves, but really just getting in there and go deep into the cleaning process. This is such a powerful way to create a reset for yourself. Set an intention for yourself to wake up at a particular time every day. And make sure you abide by it to prove to yourself, to show yourself that you're dedicated to your growth. That nothing will get in your way. That you are not willing to make an excuse. That your mind is in fact strong enough to overcome what it once was, the state that it once was in, which was an unhealthy state, which was a state that is not going to serve where you're headed. So what time can you commit to? Can you make a commitment to yourself by setting a time that you will absolutely rise and meet the day? You can omit something that you usually do in the morning for something that's more in alignment with what you are wanting to nurture within yourself. So perhaps in the morning, usually you go straight for the eggs and the toast. But now this time, as you reset yourself, you set a time that you wake up, and then instead of going for breakfast and coffee, you make a commitment to yourself that you are going to journal for 10 minutes about how you want to feel throughout the day, about what you wish to accomplish throughout the day. Or perhaps you make a commitment to yourself that you're going to hydrate your body, or that you're going to practice just mindfully breathing and listening. So now you replace the old version of yourself that went straight for that pleasure of dopamine. Maybe you would grab your phone and get dopamine, and you replace it with something that is more healthy, or something that perfectly aligns to what you're really wanting to do. And as you reflect on this reset that you're committing to, You get excited about it. You ponder, you reflect on how much you actually matter to yourself. You give yourself that care. You show yourself through the time you spend with yourself. I am worthy of commitment to myself, commitment to my heart's desire. I am capable. You're getting excited about it. You fill yourself with feelings of joy. And trust and believe that you will be posed with your own mental limitations and your old ways of being. But this is why we start off strong. We start off with the reflection, the clarification, and the commitment, the choice, the firm choice. And the beautiful thing about it is that it doesn't matter what level you're at. You can always refine this and deepen this. And over time, this becomes naturally occurring. And you don't necessarily even have to go through this process. It just becomes a part of your experience. That refining process, that deepening sense of your self-worth, that deepened awareness, or that natural awareness that you have of your own status, of your current state of being and where you're headed. I'm wondering if I can think of another form of a reset. You can reset yourself by establishing yourself on a spiritual level. What is something that you can commit to that will strengthen your relationship to your own spirituality? Maybe you can spend time in prayer. You can spend time in gratitude for the gift of life and for the gifter of life. You can spend time to do things that are spiritually enriching. As opposed to solely rooted in the attainments of this world. Maybe you can spend time connecting to yourself in a place that is natural. Finding yourself in a more expansive place and space, as opposed to constantly boxed in, so that you can start to receive more insight on this life. I'm not here to tell you what to believe in or what not to believe in. And my own spiritual practice has developed over time through exploring different things. And I've always found myself in all kinds of states of belief and positions. So seek knowledge. Seek guidance. Even if you have to go within yourself. And one last thing I'll share about this reset is that coming into the acceptance that there are people who know better than you, and that there are people who exist in a more elevated way. When you accept that there are people who exist and do life better than you, you open yourself to receiving guidance. And you don't do so from a state of insecurity or a state of fear or resentment. You do so with an open mind and an open heart. You do so with a sense of gratitude in your heart, appreciation, admiration for those who are examples of what you truly wish to be. If you're in constant competition with somebody who exhibits behaviors and experiences results that are more reflective of what you actually want, I mean, you're always going to lose. So accepting that there's always going to be somebody that is at a more elevated state than you. And if you find yourself in that position, you also have to have respect for others. Not in the sense that you have to accept what people are doing and respect something that is not respectable, but in the sense that we are all connected, and when you are setting the example, or when people are looking up to you, and when you are in a certain position, it requires acceptance of self-acceptance, acceptance of what that comes with. Doesn't mean that you have to accept disrespect from others, or you have to entertain the insecurities that people project onto you. Although this is a part of the experience, and it doesn't change what could never be changed, which is our connection. And that's something to be very mindful of when you start to feel like a sense of insecurity because you see somebody in a position that you would like to be in. The only reason you feel some type of way is because you feel disconnected from that being a possibility for you, or for that being a reality for you. You are perceiving a separation from yourself and that being, when the reality is that you are connected and you are capable of creating an even better version, because you cannot live anybody else's life other than your own. So how could it be that that experience would be better for you and you're not them? That doesn't make any sense. So for everybody, it's the same, to be in a state of remembrance, the fact that we're all connected, whether we agree with one another or not. So give that some thought and enter into this reset with a mindset that is going to set you up for success, with a mindset that goes beyond what you've known and explores what is truly possible. Challenge yourself. I assist people in broadening their horizons, expanding their bandwidth, their ability to sense what is possible. So if you're interested, you can participate in a full body activation and transformation through a guided visualization that is paired with breath work and with movement that you can utilize in your daily life. It is an experience that the intelligence of your body is creating. And I teach you how to listen to the body. I teach you how to sense certain parts of the body. And again, I'm approaching the body from a holistic perspective, not simply a physical level. So I'm assisting you in being able to integrate full body awareness, every layer of your body, so that you can witness what it is that is being communicated to you, what it is that your body is asking you for, what it is that might be blocking you, without so much mental interruption and without so much interference. I also utilize scalar plasma as a means to assist you in expanding and clarifying. Also, full body healing. Scalar plasma is something that is very powerful. It is the fourth state of matter. It is an electromagnetic impulse that creates instantaneous healing and is able to penetrate down into the genetic level while simultaneously transcending space and time, meaning that even if I were to project this electromagnetic impulse to the screen, you would receive its benefits. So if you are interested in having this sort of experience, please reach out to me and we can set up a consultation and we can discuss further what it is that you are aiming for. So I really appreciate you for watching. For my new viewers, welcome. Subscribe to my channel if you appreciated all that I shared.